Isekai has been the most dominant subgenre in the seasonal anime charts for the last couple of years, and people can't stop complaining about it. To say that modern isekais are reskins of one another would be unfair, but let's be real here, this is not far from truth. But just when we anime fans began to lose hope on getting a decent show for once, the anime gods decided to bless us with a few series that made all the isekai trashmen scream from excitement. And the only thing these isekais did differently were protagonists. Hi there, I'm your resident Russian otaku Danon, and let's explore how a good protagonist can make an isekai 10 times better. When you hear Isekai Protagonist, you probably think overpowered, has a harem, has no personality, and is so perfect that Jesus himself pales in comparison. This is true for most shows in the genre, and is also the root of the main problem with isekais. They feel samey and just aren't relatable. And if the main character is not relatable or interesting enough, the whole show suffers. So let's analyze how the authors of Mushoku Tensei, Overlord and Re addressed these issues and made their main characters stand out among the competition. Starting with the biggest one, overpoweredness. An overpowered character, as with any other archetype, is not the issue itself, but the problems begin when there's no more challenge for the hero to overcome. Some shows like One Punch Man sidestep this problem by using the overwhelming power of Saitama as a psychological obstacle. He has lost all interest in fighting and became insanely bored of anything that has to do with punching and kicking bad guys. Saitama then becomes the ultimate "I got this" character that can defeat any opponent, but any other hero in the show still has to fight for their dear life in order to survive. Thus, the suspense is generated by the absence of Saitama on the screen, and the main hook changes from "will he defeat his opponent" to "Saitama, where the hell are you, man? The Lich King is gonna kill everyone!" Mushoku Tensei, Overlord and Re all do a similar thing with their respective protagonists. Let's start with Rudeus. He's a prodigy in magic, and his knowledge from our world helps him understand the principles behind the elemental magic faster. He has an incredible amount of mana and can use incantationless spellcasting, but all this power he has is bottlenecked by his lack of combat experience and unwillingness to take another person's life. He is also extremely fearful of death and lacks the means to heal himself efficiently. He had trouble leaving his backyard, for God's sake. As a result, we have a character that has incredible potential but cannot use his power efficiently. The suspense in that case is built through our expectation from Rudeus to grow stronger and more experienced. We know that he himself is his main enemy, and this makes us slap our faces in anguish as we watch just how bad he can mess things up. As for Ainz from Overlord, he has a different kind of struggle. Despite him being almost omnipotent in this new world, where he was transported with his guild base and guardian NPCs, he's not ready to take responsibility for all these creatures under his command. He now has to improv on the spot so that he wouldn't upset any of these powerful monsters. Ainz is also extremely careful and uses his power only when it's absolutely necessary. He's paranoid about every single little thing that can mess up his plans, and there's a good reason for that. There seem to be enough unknown threats in this world. I mean, if his strongest guardian can be mind-controlled to fight against him, who's to say that this will not happen again? Thus, in this show, the author uses the overarching mystery and paranoid nature of the main character to build up tension. Ainz is overpowered, but prefers to take care of things through espionage and the power of the plan, that he totally has, by the way.
Know what I mean? Nudge, know what I mean? Say no more. Beg your pardon?
Subaru, on the other hand, is a completely different story. He's not overpowered in a traditional sense, but still has a lot more possibilities than any other character in the show. Subaru lacks physical and magical prowess, at least for now, and his main weapon is the ability to return by death. By dying, he can return to a specific point in time and try to overcome his obstacles with the information he learned before he died. Do you see the problem with this ability, or do I need to explain?
When will I die? When?
No one wants to experience death, even for the greater good, and especially multiple times. And it doesn't seem like Subaru enjoys the experience either. This simple drawback of the return by death mechanic creates an additional layer of suspense. You want Subaru to find a solution for a certain problem, but you don't want to see him suffer. If you're not a psycho, that is. The second biggest complaint about modern isekais is the overuse of harem tropes. There's nothing wrong with the tasteful takes on the subgenre, but some shows that shall not be named almost take pride in how shoehorned all the girls' affection for the main character is. Female characters are often used as some sort of Pokemon for the MC to collect in order to complete a Pokédex.
I already have this flat tsundere. I wish I'd put a shiny G-Cup legendary milk instead.
Mushoku Tensei addresses this problem by, oh my god, giving each girl a personality. They all undergo some sort of change or character arc and fall in love with Rudeus for specific reasons and not just because he gave them bread once. And further in the story, all these relationships between Rudeus, Sylphie, Eris, and Roxy reach a satisfying conclusion, and then develop even further. Again, this series is very human with its approach to character development and is able to solve a harem problem through, I know, shocker, good character writing. Overlord tackles the harem aspect of modern isekais a little differently by, well, reducing Ain's bone activity to a 0. You would think that someone with the nickname Bone Daddy would be able to achieve some monstrous feats of sexual prowess, but oh well, let's just leave that to doujin artists. But if that was all there is to it, Ainz wouldn't be on our good boy list. The main reason for him not to start producing successors, aside from reduced libido, is his attitude towards his subordinates. He sees them as children of his guild comrades. Ainz will do everything in his power to avoid any harm or suffering that others may cause his only companions in this world. He truly cares about their well-being. This is why Ainz doesn't really have a harem, although we still get a fair bit of fan service through Albedo's and Sheltier's perspective. This is a good example of how you can introduce good characters that are in love with the protagonist and still justify their relationships not leading to romance. And again, Subaru is at the extreme end of this isekai stick when it comes to how the show chooses to solve this common harem problem. He just made the dumbest possible decision and chose Emilia.
Emilia is the one I love.
Yeah, ReZero sidestepped this problem entirely and made Subaru a simp. This is actually brilliant. Despite us knowing who's the best girl in the show, we have to face the reality of Subaru's strong monogamic beliefs. This adds a little more character to the protagonist and establishes the extent of his relationships with other girls. Where Mushoku Tensei decided to give every girl a fair shot, ReZero chose one from the beginning, which is also a fair strategy. No one will accuse you of having an unnecessary harem if you don't have one. Nice one, Subaru. Nice one. Now, let's play a little game. I will show you a few isekai protagonists, and your task is to find Kirito from SAO. You have 3 seconds. Do you see a problem here? And this is Kirito, by the way. And although the looks aren't the only thing that defines a character, the generic black-haired, skinny, androgynous boy design doesn't really scream personality. Rudeus, Ainz, and Subaru, fortunately, have a lot more on their character sheets, both in terms of design and personality. Rudeus, as we found out before, is a very troubled person with a lot of things on his plate. This is not a story about a weeb who just wants to slay a few dragons in an MMO setting. Rudy doesn't treat his second life as some sort of vacation, but takes it seriously, with the determination to make other people happy and to find happiness for himself. Rudeus isn't that interested in combat and couldn't care less about becoming the strongest being in the world. He just wants to live happily, which makes him a very realistic and human protagonist. Ainz, on the other hand, is completely terrified by the prospects of living in a fantasy world as some Lich King wannabe. It takes quite a few episodes for him to come to terms with his new existence, and even then he's still more than an overpowered skeleton. He has this deep-rooted sadness in him that drives his every decision, and the way he carries himself with the denizens of Nazarick is representative of how much the original game and his companions meant to him. And then Subaru.
It's totally happening!
Well, he's an asshole. A completely selfish asshole who needs to learn how to express himself properly and what do such things as love and trust truly mean. His story is one of transformation from a lonely and resentful teen to a compassionate and caring knight, who has a lot to offer this world and people around him. And now compare them to all the other Kirito wannabes who want power, only care about themselves, and whose goals rarely extend to anything more than defeating the generic Demon Lord. And somehow they still present themselves as some ultimate god. What the actual fuck? Modern isekais, in their constant chase for the top spot as an SEO lookalikes, forgot what it truly means to be a hero whose journey is fun and exciting to watch. Being the most powerful force in the world, or having a harem, or the most popular haircut are not the things that make good stories. Good characters are the thing that drives every adventure, what makes it fun to watch. And to quote Reggie Fils-Aimé,
If it's not fun, why bother?
and although not every show needs to be good in order to be enjoyable, the success of Mushoku Tensei, Overlord, ReZero, Slime, and Ascendance of a Bookworm shows us that Isekai can offer really good stories, and was always meant to be something more than just power fantasy. Hey guys, it's Danon again. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed yourself, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel if you want to see my Russian ass talking more about anime, gaming, and music. I would also like to thank all of you for the overwhelming support on my last Mushoku Tensei video. It's really been amazing and kind of surreal, actually. I will do my very best to deliver even better content in the future. As for the upcoming videos, you can expect a deep dive into Mushoku Tensei light novels, as well as a video on how I became a fighting game pro in a niche fighting game, although this one needs a little more time in the oven. Well, that was it for today. Again, thanks a lot for all the support on the channel, this really means a lot to me. It was Danon, take care and have a good day.